honoring our ancestors, we honor ourselves. By celebrating our roots, we learn who we are. Música, unity, arte, pride. Culture, comunidad. Generaciones. Familia, creativity, self-expression, and joy, mucha alegría. For you, for us. Join us on this journey to create the Indigenous and World Music Hall of Fame. Donate today at DivinaWorldFoundation.org. How did you enjoy the lunch?
Lunch was
That
great.
is the question of the day. Thank you to Catering for All Occasions for taking care of us today. An amazing staff, amazing food, so we're very happy that you're enjoying this. I also wanted to just highlight for you again that the video presentation that we had today during lunch, it is of the 2024 Divina World Foundation Indigenous and World Music Global Talent Search winner. Congratulations again to the winning song from the Native American rock opera called Something Inside Is Broken. You are going to get to hear them perform later on right after the group photo at 4 o'clock. But they are Mignon Heli and Good Shield Aguilar. They are the co-writers of two of the co-writers of the winning song called Reminiscing. We've already mentioned this before, but I want to once again recognize and acknowledge all of our panelists for their expertise, their wisdom, their willingness to come out and share this information that I think you've probably been finding pretty inspirational and very important to the work that we're all doing, right? So thank you to all our panelists as well. Thank you to all our volunteers. Thank you to our community partner, the directors and the staff here at School of the Arts and Culture at Mexican Heritage Plaza, as well as our superstar sponsors, John Matthew and Andy Sobrato. Thank you for helping us bring all this fantastic content and necessary content to all of you here. And because we're documenting all of this, I think there's 3 camera crews around today. We're documenting all of this so that we can go out as Divina World Foundation and share it with the youngest members of our community, because I think it's really important that we take all this wisdom and knowledge and pass it on to them. I also want to thank Ed Vargas, our Divina World Foundation president, for creating and spearheading this summit. This is no small feat, as many of you know who put on events. There's lots of moving parts, so thank you, Ed, wherever you are. Give it up for Ed Vargas. I also want to thank our Expandi TV crew. They're all the way here from Atlanta. Thank you so much. And, well, she's not only on the panel, she's the CEO of Expandi TV, and she is our secretary for Divina World Foundation, Camille Garick. And I can't forget all of our sponsors. If you take a look at those beautiful bags, those were donated by Carol Smith, Biz to Biz, and we've got some treats in there, including a a clip-on ring light from Expandi TV for your phone. So thank you, everybody, for the swag in the bags. It also includes a copy of Martha Nino's new book, and you'll get to meet her and talk to her and get it signed later on. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Carmen Milagro. I'm the founder of Divina World Foundation, as well as the creator of the Indigenous and World Music Hall of Fame, an AI cultural preservation plan. And if you'd like to learn more about how we're doing this, or if you want to support us, or if you want to volunteer for the next event, please connect with me later today, or, I'm all over the socials, or you can go to our DivinaWorldFoundation.org website. So, without further ado, because you're really here to learn from our panel of experts, and we have a lot of information to share with you in a short amount of time. So I'm going to introduce you one by one to all of our panelists so you know who they are. Camille Garick, as I mentioned earlier, she's joining us by way of Atlanta, and she is the CEO of Latina-owned Expandi TV, a platform that merges education with entertainment to focus on cultural narratives and create engaging content. Expandi TV embodies a vision of global empowerment utilizing streaming media to create positive change and opportunities. Next, over there, next to her, we have Josef Manuel Liles, a Ph.D. who uses data to advance the causes of the underprivileged and the underacknowledged, who also took on the role of associate producer of Unbroken Sky, a documentary that highlights the life of Francisco Jimenez as a way to further highlight the importance of our immigrant community. Our third panelist, she's the Director of Cultural Affairs of the City of San Jose since 2008, and she serves as Assistant Director of the Office of Economic Development and Cultural Affairs. Kerry Hapner holds a Master in Liberal Arts and degree, and her thesis titled Plume Servant, Politics of Place, Art, and Cultural Inclusion, a case study on the power of public art, can be found in the special collections of the Stanford Green Library. And our other panelist, it's not a pageant, Carmen, it's not a pageant. Our panelist, it could be, actually. Our panelist is a real estate investor, community advocate, and an inventor, and he's founded a database for Mexican manufacturers and reimagined an iconic cultural product, and he does incredible work with our youth, and his name is Marco Garcia. Welcome, everyone, and please let's have a round of applause for our panelists. So this is how our session is going to go today. It's sort of like speed dating. I'm going to ask each of you a question, and you'll have about 5 or 6 minutes to answer and share the details that you want everyone to know, and that's the end of the first round. If we have some extra time, we'll go into Q&A or maybe some extra information, but once we hit that 1:30-ish mark, we're going to grab a photo together, and then we'll let the next panel come on. So I'm going to start with you, my dear friend Camille, and partner in crime. Tell us about the Expandi TV concept. What is edutainment? How does it help people create opportunities?
Well,
or offer opportunities?
Well, Expandi TV, our main mission is to bring life coaching into underserved communities, but also to help life coaches who have sometimes a harder time of getting started, a harder time of marketing. They don't have as many opportunities, especially coaches from diverse cultures, as other, coaches. So what we try to do, when I think about, I heard Albert Einstein say one time that in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And so for the last couple of weeks, I've kind of been thinking about this. Sometimes when you have difficulty, it can carve out new paths. It can carve out new strengths in people. But it can also carve out a new way to everyone work together. And so that's what I like to think of Expandi TV. We want to help the communities see that there are resources available. We like the connection of the coaches because the communities can actually reach out to the coach. It's not like it's distance. They can actually email the coach if they have a question or if they would like to learn more about programs or advice. they can directly reach the coach. That's what we do, is always make sure that any coach that we feature on Expandi TV, that they understand that, yes, the people will be reaching out to you, and you need to answer them, in the language that they speak, or because in dealing with coaches that are culturally diverse, you see, when I was growing up in my Hispanic household, and even today, coaching or asking for help or anything like that was very much frowned upon. And so sometimes it can be intimidating for people to reach out just to see a different perspective. And so that's what I always make sure that the coaches understand, that people will be reaching out, and you need to, make that connection with them, because it's very important. But we not only are helping communities, or the coaching communities, but we're also helping the coaches, because we help them with their media planning, their media presence, coaching them on production, helping them with production, so that they are able to become more known. And we love women. We love culturally diverse women. I think we have one man on our channel, and he's a meditation coach. And soon we will have Ed Vargas on the channel for his new show, The Purpose-Driven Leader. And I think he is going to be excellent in helping people get advice. And he has just such a range of skill set that people will find very valuable. So in opportunities and giving the community opportunities like that, but we're also giving the coaches opportunities too. And so it becomes a circle of giving, and then taking, and then giving more, because a coach that is able to expand their reach is able to spread even further goodness throughout many communities, not just their own. So
It's so valuable. Thank you, Camille. And I know from personal experience that having a team behind your coaching message is invaluable. Josef, thank you for joining us today. And I think we have a quick clip, a quick video for Josef that he's going to speak on.
I can't see.
Whoops. Yep.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Self-evident.
You still learning that?
It's your school.
You gotta recite it in front of the whole class?
That all men are created equal.
¿Por qué te gusta tanto la escuela?
Quiero ser maestro.
Eres estúpido. Son los ricos. Digan a maestros.
Endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Unalienable.
Francisco Jimenez.
Here. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, that was
So-
pretty powerful. And if you don't mind, Josef, can you tell us, for those people who don't know, who is Francisco Jimenez and why is his story so important?
So just by a show of hands, who is familiar with Francisco Jimenez? Okay, so wonderful, quite a few of you. So for those of you who don't know, Francisco Jimenez was a professor at Santa Clara University for 4 decades, but he is perhaps best known for a series of memoirs based off of his experience. So as you can see by the trailer, Francisco Jimenez arrived undocumented to the United States and was a farm worker in the fields in the Santa Maria Valley in his younger life. He was, and his family was, deported when he was in middle school, and they eventually were able to come back to the United States. And I think for many years he wasn't quite as public about his experience, but as he advanced in his career, what I'd like to say is that he had the bravery to share his experience. What he has done with his books, which, and if you have not read his books, I highly suggest you go and read his books as soon as you can, maybe after this conference. But his best-known books are The Circuit, which is about his early years, and then Breaking Through, which was the original title of this project, Reaching Out and Taking Hold. And then he also has a shorter story called La Mariposa that's illustrated. But these are all about his experience from arriving in the US, being a farm worker, and then eventually going to college and then earning his Ph.D., which eventually led to the path of becoming a college professor. But again, I'd like to emphasize the bravery of the work that he did, because there weren't many authors that were talking about this personal experience about being undocumented at that time. And since then, wonderfully, there's been a number of other people that have discussed that experience. But it still remains a brave choice even today, and especially after the results of this election. But getting from the book to the film was a 20-year process. So the conversations of the executive producers that were involved in this film started out back in the late 90s when Santa Clara had one of its campaigns and they were doing some video work for the university. So one of the interviews they conducted was with Francisco Jimenez. And so the executive producers, Normandy Ramirez and Robin Mortaroti, started to have conversations with him, learn about his book. And of course, if you know Francisco Jimenez, to know him is to love him and to love his story. And so they started discussing about, basing a film off of his work. And, life gets in the way and things happen. And of course, it took about 20 years to finally get to the point where they were ready to make this film. And even at this point, of course, the goal would have been to have made a full-length feature film. But to emphasize, this is a 24-minute film based off of a segment of one of his books, and it cost over $100,000 to produce that film, and we never even made our total budget. Our budget was higher. So making this film was actually, there was a lot of in-kind donations and gifts, people that allowed us to use locations for free, including, because there was a segment that you saw where he was in the fields. Those are the fields where he actually picked strawberries. We were able to get those fields for this film, and that space was donated. So it took a lot of goodwill and a lot of love and some money, obviously, to make this film. I got involved simply because I had one of the great pleasures of getting to know him. And again, to know him is to love him and to love his story. We hope eventually we've had a lot of success with film festivals. We've won some awards at several film festivals. We are actually showing in Guadalajara, where Francisco Jimenez is originally from, on December 6th. So we are really happy and pleased about that. But obviously we want to get this out there on a larger platform. We want to get this into homes, into classrooms, and eventually develop an episodic series based off of that. But it takes money, it takes support in order to do that. So that's where we're at right now. But we think this story, and along with the stories of so many others that arrived as migrants to this country, and the migration experience is so important. So just to leave you with a paraphrase from Francisco Jimenez, and I'm sorry, I'm going to paraphrase badly probably, but the way that he always talks about his stories is that when we share stories, we break down walls and the borders that separate us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Try to continue as soon as I get this lump out of my throat.
I know.
Miss Kerry, my dear friend, you have an amazing history of working for the people of San Jose, the city of San Jose. Could you share with us an overview
Yep.
of the work that you do, how it impacts the community, and how people can get involved?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me today and amongst this esteemed panel. So I am Carrie Hapner, and I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Affairs, which is a division of the Office of Economic Development and Cultural Affairs. So I point that out because my work is at the nexus of economic, community, and cultural development. So we do that work through a variety of different programs. So next slide. Let me just kind of talk us through our programs. So we have a grant making. So we give out a portion of the transient occupancy tax to nonprofit art organizations as well as artists, and really to promote vibrancy within the city of San Jose. We also give out grants for non-arts organizations to do programming that's arts-based, also to small business. So our goal is really to help support and advance and ignite our cultural community. We also oversee the contracts with nonprofit arts organizations that operate and maintain city-owned cultural facilities. We have 10. This is one of them, the Mexican Heritage Plaza. So we work with the School of Arts and Culture to help ensure that this is stewarded very well, and they do an outstanding job, by the way. And in addition to that, we also oversee the commissioning of public art throughout San Jose through a 1% for art ordinance. And then we also oversee the permitting and production of outdoor special events. So we're the office that when the San Jose Jazz Festival wants to have its Summerfest, they contact us, and then we're like the one-stop shop that helps them engage with different departments across the city. And we also produce our own special events as well. So those are amongst the programs that those are just, a handful of programs that we oversee. But our real goal is to provide our residents access to the arts and culture, and also to ensure that San Jose is a vibrant place so that when visitors come to San Jose, they might stay a little bit longer, maybe spend a little bit more. And so economic development is absolutely critical to our work, but furthermore, I will add, at the heart of it is the art, and it's about placemaking and also giving ourselves an opportunity to express ourselves so that we can connect with ourselves and we can connect with each other and we can connect back to San Jose. Next slide, I'm gonna just share a little bit of data. Every 5 years, we do an arts and economic prosperity study. And we did this 2017, it was previously released. We gave it a little bit more time so we can get past COVID. But we saw that the arts, the nonprofit art sector, right, just the nonprofit art sector alone, so that's a conservative number, contributed $292 million annually to our economy and supported almost 5,000 jobs. So those of you that are familiar with downtown San Jose, the 4 Adobe headquarter towers, we would fill up those 4 towers with the jobs that our art sector provides. So that's an incredible amount of GDP, if you will. And again, it's a conservative number. So the arts help our economy, they mean business. In addition to that, they help us connect with each other and with ourselves. And in a city like San Jose, where you have over 40% of the population that was born in another country, where you have no majority population, is what we describe as a minority majority, the power of the arts is around bridging cultures, right? And it has that power of cross-cultural understanding. So it is through the arts that we connect also across cultures. So I just want to underscore the importance of your work and what you're doing around an Indigenous Musician Hall of Fame, and how important that is for people to connect with their own heritage, but to learn about other cultures. And we know we need to do that more. And so I just want to extend my appreciation and underscore the power of this type of work. So thank you so much, and I'll pause. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you. Kerry is also a member of our advisory council for DIVINA World Foundation. I just want to point that out as well. I'm very fortunate to know actually so many of you in this room, and I'm so grateful that we're all coming together and that we're sharing our messages. So thank you for that. Thank you, Kerry. And next we have Marco Garcia. Marco, do you mind sharing with us, you do a lot of work with events and youth. And if you could share with us, why, how you're including them, and by helping us through DIVINA World Foundation.
Absolutely. My background is in computer science and economics, and throughout my life, I've been invited to many parties where a piñata was part of the party, and I noticed there was a problem, the hard stick. So I invented a piñata with a soft stick, an inflatable stick. That way, the kids don't get hurt. I went through the whole process of provisional, non-provisional, design, manufacturing, to market product. I get a lot of questions from people that have ideas. They come to me, some people call me out of the blue, hey, somebody gave me your number, and I try to help them out in that sense. Last couple of months ago, we partnered with the Chicago Toy Convention, obviously from Chicago, along with Chef, and we motivated the kids in ages 6 to 18 to keep going with school and get into college. We gave them statistics on colleges. As you know, more than 50% of the student population within K through 12 is of Latino descent. We gave them statistics as far as like Long Beach State has 14,000 students right now of Latino descent. Northridge, which is the largest, has 16,000, and they were blown away by these numbers. They were like, "Wow!" And we were telling them these kids, these kids in school are like you. They look like you. They speak like you. They are you. Okay, so all the emotions you have, nervous, scared, excited, they went through that, okay? So they are you. So you're not going into something new. Kids have been there before. So we did that event, and right now we're putting together an event we live in the mecca of the startup industry, okay, worldwide. People from all over the world are trying to come here, okay? And these kids live here. And we're trying to make sure that they feel that they are part of this startup industry. We're going to give them a chance with STEM, robotics and whatnot, to pitch, so they have that experience of pitching, so that when they grow old, they already know what a pitch is, what a pitch deck is. They already know how to develop an idea. We're going to give them all these tools, and we're going to promote STEM, innovation, patents, and ideas. And that's what we're doing right now.
Nice.
Awesome.
And of course, we want to include the arts in that, right? Because one of the things that I talk about, I just had to point that out, but one of the things that I talk about when I'm coaching young people or I'm working with the parents, because I can't help a young person get to where they're going as a coach if I don't know what's going on in their entire environment. Right? So I do talk to the parents, and luckily I can speak to many of them in Spanish, so that I develop that trust with them. And one of the things that I ask the parents to think about, they've lived and witnessed, right, Silicon Valley, where this is where we're at, right? All the latest, greatest innovations, inventions, and modifications, and all of that goes with technology. They've witnessed it in one way or another. So why do we continuously, in our culture many times, try to dissuade our children from being artists? And that was a question that I had for the parents. And I said to them, but if you flip this script and you think about all the innovation in technology, where does that come from? It comes from creative, artistic people who were encouraged at some point in their life, as a young person usually, to be creative, to be artistic, to use their imagination to change the world.